Yep, Independence is a vibe. I'm Travis.
And I'm Chris.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
And don't forget to catch us on Instagram and on YouTube at Independence is a Vibe, because you know that it is.
Yes, sir.
And so as always, y'all know we got some type of topic for you. And so today's topic is, what mindset do you have to make money? Interesting, right? Y'all know this podcast is all about being independent, and you can't be independent without your money.
Nah.
You know, and like we've said multiple times on this podcast, we are both working together and independently, or separately, I should say, toward multiple streams of income.
Yes, sir.
Because that is where the truth is. You know, freedom, yeah. You know, you don't want your money just coming from one source.
Nah.
You want multiple sources, because that first source could dry up.
Yep.
You know, and I went through that personally. When the job I was on for like 12 years had shut down with no warning. And I ain't see it coming. You know? So, I mean, that was a big lesson in having money everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think you should ever have your eggs in one basket, man.
For real.
You gotta spread it out.
Right. You know, and I started thinking more after that happened. It's like, as we get older, you never know what you're gonna lose.
Right.
You know, and when I say that, I mean physically. You never know. You know, if you're a person that always work with your hands, but then as you get older, your hands don't work the same.
Right.
You know, if you're a person that you made your money talking, you never know what might happen to your voice. You know, and so I'm to the point now where I want my money to work for me instead of me working for my money.
Yeah, man. Yep. I'm all about preventative maintenance.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I'm always thinking long term.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you said, what if this happened? What if that happened? So I, you know, I'm the kind of person that put things in place just in case the what ifs.
You know, and I'm gonna just be real, you know, on this podcast, because, like, I was taught to always have things in place, like you said. But my problem comes in, you know, you get to looking at your bills and looking at the stream of income that's coming in, and it just don't seem like it's enough to, like my dad say, put something up. You gotta put something up. You know, and it's like, but what if all I could do is put up $20? What good is $20 gonna do when you need $500? You see what I'm saying? So
that 20 gonna be shit add up though.
Yeah. You know, but then I also learned that it's good to set things up early.
Yeah.
You know, when you making your money and your money flowing good and you don't have so many responsibilities, you know.
Yeah.
Take your money, and instead of blowing it, and you'll be surprised the different ways people blow money and don't even realize it. Eating out is a big one.
Oh yeah.
That's why we talk a lot on this podcast about the adventures we had cooking. Because we was both, you know, trying to learn to cook, because it's a survival skill, but it also saves you money. And that's what you want to do, is have skills to make money, but also have ways that you save your money. Don't blow everything.
Yeah, man, that eating out gonna kill your pockets these days.
You ain't lying, boy. You know, and another thing too, man, I think that as far as like the topic, what kind of mindset do you have to make money? Man, I think you gotta be hungry.
I think you gotta be a risk taker.
That too. And see, that's one thing that bothers me, because I'll take a risk if it's calculated, but if I can't really calculate certain steps, I won't do it. You know, and I think that's why I hadn't really set my money up the way I've been wanting to set it up for the years.
Yeah.
Because I see how to do it, but I know it takes time. But then I'm kind of also afraid to jump out there, because I'm like, well, what if the business fail? What if this don't work? You know what I'm saying?
What if it blow up?
That too. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this year I've been learning to, number one, be more consistent with things I do. Number two, take the risk. You know, don't worry about, well, what if, you know, I could have did this, I could have did that. Don't what if yourself out of something this year. Just go for it.
That scary money don't make no money, man.
Say that one more time for people that ain't hear you.
That scared money don't make no money.
Yeah, because sometimes I can feel my water shaking, boy. Sure.
Shaking, man.
Shaking, boy. And I'm like, man, I'm looking at stuff online. I'm like, man, you know what? I want to get into investing. My wallet be like,
Can't be scared, man. Gotta jump off the porch, like they say. Jump in that water.
Shoot, I've been sitting on that porch for a long time, my boy.
Jump in that water, man.
But I think I'm about ready to start swimming. Because the way this economy going, man, I wish I'd have been thinking this way about 20 years back, you know. But somebody always told me, as long as you still breathing, you got a chance.
That's it.
All you need is a chance. And I'm like,
Every day you wake up, you got a chance and a choice.
yeah. That's a good shirt right there.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. You know, and that's the thing. To make money, you got to have the mindset that I'm gonna have to risk it. You know, and no, you don't have to risk it. Risk everything you have. I've seen people do that, you know, but
Be smart about it, but I mean, at least go for it. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, do it.
Yeah, because you owe it to yourself.
Because eventually you're going to start sounding like a broken record.
Yup. And sometimes that's how I feel. Because I always got this idea in my head for this kind of business or that kind of business. And I'm like, man, yeah, I want to start me a business. I want to invest. I want to have this and that when I get older. And it's like, well, what you doing to work toward that?
Right.
Man, well, I don't have this and I don't have.
Start making excuses then, huh?
For real, backpedaling through a wall. You know, I'm in reverse like a car. But you know, I had to break through certain mindsets, and even now, as we talk, like certain mindsets with me is not broken through yet.
Okay.
I'm still fighting on some parts.
Yeah.
You know, but for the most part, stuff's starting to get loose. I'm starting to kind of shake away from certain habits, as far as my thought patterns and stuff like that. And y'all, it's tough, man. It sound easy, but
just do it, man.
like Nike, huh?
Yeah, like Nike, just do it. I mean, think about everybody that's millionaires and billionaires right now. They took a risk. I'm pretty sure somebody probably tried to talk them down, and they was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it anyway. I mean, look at what happened.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
So I mean, sometimes you gotta take risks.
Yeah, you know, and I think that the topic we chose, you know what I'm saying, just having a certain mindset when it comes to making money, it still ties into the theme of the podcast, which is independence.
Yeah. Because
you got to have both. Right. You know what I'm saying? Even to be independent, take a certain mindset. So why wouldn't that same mindset apply to money? You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you gotta have that dog in you too.
That too.
You ain't gonna give up. You gonna keep fighting.
Yeah, and see, I understand like the not giving up part, but it's the part that's like, well, I got this much money and I got this many bills, so I don't think I have no room to put this money into that.
I mean, I'm gonna find a way to put some money into something. Okay, so like when income tax come around, that's like extra money right there. So I'm about to at least put something into something, some kind of motion or something.
And that makes sense too.
Yeah.
Cause see, my mindset was, or I should say, my mindset is still trying to find some kind of business I can do to have a second stream of income. That way, I have more money flowing. So this income covers the bills, and the other income goes into stock investments or whatever other financial vehicles I'm trying to get moving.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. The problem that I run into all the time is, even if you find a second stream of income, number one, it seems like it's always something that comes and just wants to take that money.
Yeah.
Number two, when you don't know what to do, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we got technology with all the information at our fingertips.
Yeah.
But sometimes that information is not correct. And like I said, I hadn't always been a risk taker. So if I'm reading information and something just don't sound right to me, I'm like, nope, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? But again, that's part of that mindset. Like, you don't know much about this, you can't risk it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but then I think about like it's a lot of stuff I didn't know until I started doing it more. And now the stuff I thought was risky ain't risky no more.
I mean, if I don't understand something, I'm gonna take more of a deep dive into it.
Yeah.
And try to, understand it better. I'm gonna ask people too.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm still learning stuff today and even like this year.
Yeah.
But it's like a slow process for me. And I want things to speed up for me, But I think for to speed it up, I'm gonna have to step out more.
Sometimes we be in our own way.
Yep. And I think that's my problem.
Yeah.
Trying to be unafraid, because just like the Bible say, God ain't give us a spirit of fear. But then at the same time, you're looking at situations that you can't help but see. And it's like, I don't know. I think I'm going to just wait a little longer. And
He also say, walk by faith and not by sight.
If this was a boxing match, I'm seeing stars now. So yeah. I'm slowly, like people say, coming out my shell or getting out my box or whatever they want to, cliche they want to put on it.
Yeah.
It's a slow process, but I'm getting out. I think also too, to make money, your mindset has to be understanding to the fact that sometimes you're going to lose. You just got to be okay with that. You got to bounce back. Okay, I lost on this one. I'm going to do it again because maybe the next time I won't lose.
Those L's be learning lessons, man.
Yeah. I heard somebody say that too on YouTube. They was like, whatever you wanted to do that you stopped doing, do it again.
Right.
They said, because this time you're not starting from the place of zero knowledge.
You got experience now.
Yeah. And I thought about that. I was like, bro, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I never do anything, I won't learn.
Right.
So if I do something and I lose on it, it's like, okay, get yourself together. Maybe you gotta wait till you get your next check, or wait till you, get some kind of lump sum of money or something. But when you get it, have a plan for it already.
Right.
So, I like to look at money as seed. You know what I'm saying? So in order for it to grow, I gotta let it go. But you gotta let it go into the right things.
I see money as a tool.
That too.
Yeah.
That's a good thing too.
Yeah.
Because I have bought what could be termed as digital tools in order to, start trying to learn certain skills to turn those skills into a business.
Right.
But also looking at money as a tool is a good way to shape my mind too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's real good.
Also, you gotta have that hustle mentality too.
Oh yeah.
You gotta be like, I'm about to get it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? No matter what come my way, can't nothing stop me.
That boy Rick Ross out here.
Rick Ross, man. Hustling. Every day I'm hustling.
Another thing I learned too, as far as like the mindset you have to make money, find a way to invest in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And that may mean having to read books, or if you're like, I don't like to read, you can read business stuff on Instagram. They just put it in smaller infographics. So you're not reading a 20 chapter book, but you're reading 3 or 4 infographics every day.
I mean, the knowledge is out there.
Yeah.
It's all about how bad you want it.
Yep. And that's why I say I think my biggest hurdle is just the fear of, like, if I put this money in something and I lose this money, I feel like I can't afford to lose nothing. But where has that gotten me all these years? See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I say I'm slowly inching my way out my shell.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes change can be scary. I get that.
Yeah.
It's scary. The unknown is always scary. But sometimes you just got to be like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, because you got to get tired of going through the same stuff what you're going through.
Yeah.
And like we said, you can't be independent without money. You know what I'm saying? You can't, especially in today's economy. You know what I'm saying? You can't be independent without money.
Money is freedom.
It is. And you definitely want to get to a point where you making your money, but you're not working, 24 hours a day for that money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You want to have something set up, even if it's just one or two things, where the money is working while you're resting.
Right.
Because we all getting older,
Yeah.
and I think about that a lot. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I got kids and a wife and all of that. And I think a lot about leaving them a financial future more than just paying on life insurance. Because I have life insurance on us, but also wanting to be able to leave them some generational wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And with me not getting any younger, I'm like, the stuff I know now, I wish I'd have known that back when I was, 18, 19, 20, 21.
Yeah, we always say if I would have known back then what I know now.
Yeah.
I mean, but hey, you know it now, so
time to bust a move.
Time to bust a move, man. Flex that muscle.
Even if you feel like you're late to the game, because that's how I feel. Like, as far as like the game of money, I'm late to it. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said in the previous video, man, sometimes it may look like people ahead of you, but one touch from God can put you 10 years ahead of them.
Come on.
So, I mean, time don't really matter to him.
Yeah, you're right. Right. It just matters to us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
we look at our age and be like, dang, I'm behind.
For real.
And he be like, he's probably just shaking his head like.
I be feeling it. I'm like, Lord, hey, you sure you don't have no time machine stashed up there for your boy? I be like, we can't rewind the clock a little bit. I ain't got to go all the way back, man. Just like 5 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? That ain't that far for you.
Right.
And he like, no. You learned the stuff now? Start moving. I'm like, yeah, but what if the movement's slow? Hey, a slow movement is still a movement. I'm like,
what they say, slow money for show money?
Yep. Man, so that's why I say, man, I'll be like, yeah. I think it been time for me to make moves. But number one, I didn't know how to do it. And like you said, even a lump sum of money once a year, that's still seed. You know what I'm saying? And I had plenty of years where it's like, I'm just put this money to the side. It's like, okay, and do what? I don't know. Just have it sitting there in case something happens. And then something would happen and now that money gone. And the more I started learning about passive and residual incomes, I'm like, dang, the money I had just sitting there, I could have put that money into something that would have made me more money. That way, that money could have been sitting there. So that way, I could have pulled from that money that was building. But even though I pulled from it, it's still building after I pull some out.
I'm trying to get that mailbox money next.
That mailbox money, huh?
Mailbox money, man. You get a check every month from a, whatever.
Them dividends and stuff like that.
Type of business you might have started. Like books. That's a residual, a royalty every month.
Yep. Like we said, man, we putting the work in, man. I ain't gonna lie, I do hate this process. I feel like it's taking too long, man. And I'm a very patient person. I am.
It's right on time.
But patience it's a vast field. You got patience in one area, but you might need more patience in another area.
I feel like it's right on time.
You think so?
Right on time.
I feel you on that.
You can be like, dang.
That came right when I needed it.
Right when you need it.
But yeah, man. Yeah. But I do think you do have to have, a certain mentality. Because I've seen people talk about business to where a lot of people don't research. They just feel like I'm going to throw something at the wall and hope it stick. And that's why they be so frustrated, because you out here trying stuff but you ain't did no research.
That never works.
Never works. So.
And if it does work, then it probably won't.
It won't last.
Because you just winging it the whole time.
And that's the thing. It's one thing to see somebody else do something and you like, yeah, I want to do a business like what they doing. Okay, that could be seen as a form of research. It could. But you don't know how long that person been grinding for it. You don't know if they don't get any sleep at night because they up. You know what I'm saying? Working after they get off from work.
Yeah.
All you see is the shine that's on them now.
Right.
So.
Them sleepless nights, them long hours, man.
And like in the mode I'm in now, you know, being retired like I am, like I used to be that person. Work an 8-hour job and get off and then go in my garage and fix people computers with the hopes of one day having my own computer repair shop. And one day it kind of hit me like, nah, I don't want to be 40, 50 years old still fixing computers. Because what's going to happen when I get old and I just want to chill? The money going to stop flowing.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of made me start changing my mindset about the things I would do. Fixing computers wasn't bad. It's just the fact that you working your body to make your money. And I wanted to get away from that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you get big enough to open up your own shop and you hire people to,
yeah,
you know, technicians to fix that for you.
Yeah.
You just collect the check.
And I think, too, I wanted to move more toward the digital age.
Okay.
Especially after, you know, going through some natural disasters and stuff like that. And you see, like, the place where you was working out of for to make your extra money just get washed out.
Yeah.
And you like, yeah, I think I'm going to take my talents to the internet now. I'm going to see how this works. You know?
Taking my talents to the internet, huh?
Yeah. Something where I can work from anywhere. So if I'm on vacation on the beach, I can still work. You know? If a natural disaster hit and I got to move out for a while, I can still work. And that's what kind of started shaping me as far as the way I'm thinking and what kind of stuff I wanted to get into. That was a big reason why I just, you know, my clientele for the computer stuff had dried up. After a natural disaster, it dried up.
Yeah.
And then it got to a point where nobody was getting their computers repaired anymore. They would just ask me, like, what kind of specs should I look for if I want to do this on the computer?
Yeah.
And I would tell them what they needed, then they'll go buy it, and that'd be it. I became a consultant.
You could have charged them for your consulting.
I didn't charge anybody. Some people just blessed me, you know, but
okay.
But that's how I slowly got away from doing the computer repair stuff. And after that, I started looking more into other things like making music or doing like graphic design, stuff like that. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm still sharpening them skills today. Hadn't really made any money, but I made a lot of progress as far as learning, you know, how to move in this digital age.
Yeah.
Because I seen that like marketing is a big thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can have all kind of skills, but if nobody knows you have those skills, you make no money. Basically.
Yeah, I'm trying to get more into investing.
And see, that's where I want to be.
Yeah.
That's exactly where I want to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. You got anything else you want to add? Or?
Yeah, man. Be a risk taker, you know what I'm saying? And don't be afraid to jump in that water.
Ooh. I like that.
Like I said, every day you get up, man, you got a chance and a choice.
I'm going to have to borrow that one. You know, I'm gonna adopt that as part of my mentality. It's going to have to get in here. I got to get it in because I'm looking at the way this economy going and the way the way the world moving. And it's just like, you know, the stuff I wish I could have set up earlier is like, you know what? I'm still breathing. That means I still got a chance to set it up.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. Any more for the people?
Nah, I think I'm tapped out, man.
Alright. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video.
And don't forget to catch us on Instagram and on YouTube at Independence is a Vibe, because y'all know that it is.
Yes, sir.
And we'll be back next week with another video.
Stay tuned.
And we out.
Peace.